Hello.
Hey, Siri Gian.
Hi, is this Harkoven?
Yes, it is. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Great. I'm so happy to hear it. Have you been back to that park?
No, that last time was just, it took too much out of me. I need to go there with some people, you know?
Oh, okay.
I need some reinforcements.
Okay.
Hi, it's Judy from Ormond Beach.
Who is this?
Judy from Ormond Beach.
City Simone Elise?
Sorry, Judy from Ormond Beach.
Judy from Ormond Beach.
Yes.
Okay, glad to have you, dear. You're Hargoben's friend, right?
Yes.
Great. Welcome. Who else is
Padam
here?
Dian.
Oh, Padam Dian. Welcome from Uruguay.
Hi.
And who else is
April.
here? Who?
April.
Would you spell your name, dear?
Like the month. April.
April. Welcome, April.
Thank you.
Yeah. Who else is here? Suzanne, welcome.
Hi. Yeah.
Hi. And who else?
David Kieran.
David Kidden.
Yeah.
David Kidden from
Stockholm, Sweden.
Moonbeam.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's
The Moonbeam.
Hi, April.
Hello.
Hi, April.
Nice to have you, dear. What time is it there?
Yeah. It's 6 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, well, that works out just fine, doesn't it? Good. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, me too.
Good. And who else is here?
Tina Pendleton.
Is this Tina?
Uh-huh.
Oh, welcome, Tina. We're going to be talking this evening, huh?
Yeah, so excited.
Me too. Who else is here?
Kaur.m4v.
Oh, hi, sweetie. You can make it this time. Welcome.
Hey, Gooder.
Hi, Harkoven.
Well, so far these are three faithful people of our Facebook group. Hargoben, Guru Ravi, and Devi Kiran. What fun. Who else is here?
Yeah.
Satnam, Nora from Juneau.
Hi, Nora. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Oh, good. And who else? Okay, and Hadi Munder from Juneau. She had to go back to the East Coast because her mom developed medical problems. So we'll include her in our heart breath. Okay, anybody else? You want to announce yourself? Okay. So let's get going. Please sit straight. Long, deep breath. Palms together at the center of the chest. Relax into your third eye. Relax into your third eye. And inhale to begin.
Agre name, Jigagre name, Sagre name, Siddhigurudeve name. Agre name, Jigagre name, Sagre name, Siddhigurudeve name. Agre name, Jigagre name, Sagre name, Siddhigurudeve name.
Deep breath. Long deep breath from the belly through the nose.
Loretta?
Welcome, Loretta.
Thank
and now
you.
begin heart breath. Now begin heart breath. Exhaling. Exhaling through the heart center. Long deep breath, but feeling as though you were exhaling through your heart center. If you find any hurt in there, please exhale it out your heart center. Let it heal, let it expand. Let go of the weight. Sort of keep up while I talk. It sort of reminds me of Alaska. Hari Munder showed me that as global warming melts the snow there, the land rises. It's quite amazing. So now please melt that heavy snow of any difficulties. Any feelings of pressure, please melt it. Or let it be melted with your heart breath. Good. And now please use your heart breath and connect with everybody who is on this phone call now or anybody who is listening to it in whatever year that might be. Good. Continue your connection. Let it grow. Let it grow. What a pleasure to be you, and what an infinite pleasure to be us. Feel each other's heart. As one heart, one beautiful heart that processes love, processes kindness. It sounds as though there's somebody kind of moving around, but we can hear that. So you can press star 6 to mute yourself. allow your hearts to grow. Now, let that energy from our combined energy, let it grow and grow so that it covers the planet. We are not too small in our energy. We are quite infinite in our energy, in our combined energy. He says, please send this beautiful glow. He calls it an aperture meaning an opening to the infinite rays of the sun, so to speak, to cover the planet, to have an interaction with the planet. And all of its inhabitants, of course. He says, and in doing this, we are also joining with other light working groups, other light workers. In a way, he says we act as relay stations, but in fact, we all come together as the one. That's it. He says there's a moment, there is a feeling of embrace. When you allow your heart center to join, when you allow this incredible, he calls it infinitesimal heart. He says because every submolecule joins in the heartbeat of infinity. Allow yourself to combine with this whole planet and all consciousness of the planet. He says, excellent. He says, while you do this, please allow what you call the history to also be involved. Understand that time and space are part of the illusion. So he says what you call history is actually present moment as well. He says, please allow the history to be divinely inspired. He says, you don't have to believe it. He says, just do it. What he says we're doing is producing a lineage of time and space that will come meet us now. He says this heartbeat has been there for millennia. He says what we're doing is we're amplifying it from the time of our ancestors. And when he says our ancestors, he's not just talking about those who share our genetic material from this, from a few centuries back. He's talking about our ancestors of consciousness on this planet. He says, many of you are very special and enlightened beings who have come from other spaces, other dimensions, to join in this quest or this monumental, he calls it a flip. And he says, rejoice in this human ancestry. And he says, renounce at this point what is not embedded in this human ancestry. He says, if you have one foot planted here on this planet and another foot on another planet, he says, your cooperation is split. He says, be here now. Be here now. With all of your focus, with all of your wit, being this incredible light, penetrating, emanating through into all beings on this incredible planet. He says, if only you could see what this planet is. He says it is a workable gem. He says he understands that it's not a star like our sun. He says, but it is a radiating planet of justice, which is why we've had so much injustice, is to pull those poles apart so that we may flip into the oneness. Be present. Be present. Keep up the breath. He says, and now feel. He says, now feel your center. Feel your presence as your own center. Feel it now. Opening your heart. Letting go of heartache. The heartache be recreated. Let it be repositioned. And allow the beautiful flow. The beautiful flow. He calls it of the heart science. So, sir, what does that mean, heart science? He says it means, this is the study of the heart phenomenon. He says there is no way you could ever break it down, put it in rule books. He says, in scientific terms, he says, but it is the experience, the repeated experience, the understanding, the knowledge that comes through the heart, not through the head. He says, this is heart science. Please feel it. Feel the flow of it. He says, you all have it. You all use it. Now he's asking you to bring attention to it. To feel the preciousness of it. To feel the glow of it. He says it permeates your whole being. It permeates your knowledge of yourself on all levels. He says, and when it is shut down, he says that is when your heart hurts, that is when you feel small, that is when you feel alone and disconnected, that is when you are depressed and you cannot function. He says, when your heart is closed for whatever reason, he says you experience the very grave and great difficulties that go with it. He says, so please pay very special attention. Please pay very special attention to the flow of your heart breath, of the flow of the energy through your heart. He says, and whatever comes through and seems to be blocking it up or constipating your heart, he says, pay attention. Pay attention. He says, if you are suffering heartbreak, he says, please do not try to cut it off. He says, allow yourself to experience the heartbreak. It is something that needs to be experienced. Allow yourself to experience it. All the grief, all the woes, he says, but always staying centered, not losing touch, always making sure there is a thread to your incredible light. This is your place of being, your place of knowing, your place of worship. He says your heart on every level is your place of worship. It is your altar. He says, please adore and worship your heart. And keep it clean and pristine as you would any altar. Keep up the heart breath, please. He says, always please be assured. Always please be in knowledge and awareness that your heart is a motivating principle and the motivating diviner, so to speak. Diviner in the sense of knowing where to go and what to do. He says it is your heart. It is your cleared heart. It is your heart of light. The light that shines like the sun and connects on every level. Connects in ways that you perhaps have never seen before, have never taken the time to appreciate because it was not pointed out to you. He says, so let me, he means Baba Siri Chand, he says at this moment, let me take the knowledge of your heart and shine it on a very special aspect. A very special aspect to connect with that aspect. It may be hard for you. It may be easy for you. He says that's not the point. The point is that we are in this purpose together, and that he is leading you to feel, to understand, to know, to connect. We have a word called connect. He says, but it's much deeper, it's much broader, it's much higher. He says it's more like join with, infiltrate, become one with. Use your heart breath, please. To join with wherever Babaji is taking you. maybe someone or something that is very remiss. It could even be a criminal. It could be a criminal state. It could be a part of history. Or it could be something that you know and you feel, you judge is totally precious wherever he is taking you. Keep up your heart breath for the sake of joining. Now, he says, as you do this, you may find that he says that he directs you from this one situation that he was directing you to, or you may stay with that. He may move you. He may move your attention. He says, that's fine. Don't worry. He says, now continue. He says, as you continue, notice what happens. Notice what happens. And if you have a pencil and paper there, if it's not too disturbing, you can make little tiny notes. He says, because this is very true and very monumental. Good, good. Continue opening. He says, and now, he says, continue to bring in all of those locations, all of those intentions into this oneness of experience. That we are, as we pretend to be individuals, he says, and now please bring it all into this, he calls it this lightened mass. That we are together as one. Bring it all together. Bring it as offerings, each one. Each very special ingredients or supplies to this one manifestation. He says that as you do this, understand that every aspect is so, he calls it infinitesimally radical, perfect. He says nothing is the same. He says we use this, he says we group into categories. He says that's okay. That's what our mind can handle. But in fact, there is nothing that is the same. One grain of sand is not the same as the other grain of sand. One leaf is not the same as another leaf. One molecule is not the same as another molecule. Each one is its own universe. Each one. He says, but of course he understands that our minds are not ready to grasp that. He says, but it's a good idea to know it. So bringing all of the universes that we are, that we compound, that we join with, as pure flow. Let it abound, let it live, let it all, in unison, have the heartbeat of life, the heartbeat of kindness. This is kindness, he says, is not bland. Oh, my children, he says, it's not bland. He said it is every aspect of light that you could imagine. It is every dance and play with the darkness that you could imagine. Kindness is pure present. Pure present. Be in your pure presence. Good. Keep up your heart breath. He says, now find in that pure presence, he says, I am pointing to something, someone, some light, some vibration within that pure presence for you. He says, please follow. He says, please follow that beam of consciousness to its source. He says, and make a note, write down a note of where you were being taken. Using your heart breath. Using your heart breath. Watching the wonder, watching the transformation, experiencing the joining of what you might call heart and soul. It's experiencing the joining, he says, of where I am taking you. Be one. Be one, he says. Be knowledgeable. He says you've always heard of omniscience. He says take a peek into omniscience. Take a peek. He says allow your perfection to be present. Allow your experience to be pure and direct. Know who you are. Know who you are as this radiant sun of heart light. You are the radiant sun of heart light. Experience yourself as such. Good. And open up. And allow yourself, as that radiant sun of heart light, to be the lighthouse, as Yogi Bhajan always said. Allow yourself to be the lighthouse. Staying steady, staying totally grounded in heaven and earth, and radiating that presence, that purity, that knowing, without judgment on your part, without judgment of saying, oh, I'm the best, or, oh, I'm the least. Neither one, just being present and pure, expanded neutrality. Allow yourself to be the one. Be the one. Be the one. Radiate. Radiate. And allow yourself to be cleansed, to jump into the healing waters also of this radiance. This is your pleasure. This is your presence. This, my dears, is what you bring to the planet. I know you have so many skills, he says, but this is your primary skill. It is your primary being. It is your primary purpose. It is your destiny. Good. And now feel yourself totally bathed in this light. Bathed. He calls it bathed in the pressure of knowing. Sir, why do you call it the pressure of knowing? He says it is a feeling of gravity within the expansion. The feeling of gravity within the expansion, this dynamic push and pull, is what draws, what promulgates creation. The gravity within the expansion. He says it is the balance of the forces that creates you, that creates each and every universe in the grain of sand, in the leaf, within your own heart. It is the you of you. Please be grateful for this pure and delightful blessing that you feel as coziness, that you feel as wonder, that you feel as the deepest satisfaction of knowing, even beyond the grief, beyond the worry. He says it is your source, and let all sink into that source. That is your song. That is your light. Using your heart breath, bathe yourself in it, your total consciousness. Let it be bathed in it. Let yourself know your own purity, your own freedom. Even beyond crystalline. Pure. Beyond words, beyond concepts. Good. Keep up the breath. He says, and now I am going to let you know what to share. He says, don't forget our sharing time. This is a very important part of the whole meditation, to listen deeply to one another, to acknowledge the spirit, the flow in one another, as well as being expressed from your own self. the overflow. He says, I'm letting you know right now. He says, we talk about sharing the light, sharing the heart. He says, sharing these concepts is just as important. Good. And inhale. And exhale. Good. And he says, now, who can step forward first? He says, please remember where you were taken and please remember your experience. Okay, so who can go first?
Siri Gian, I can share.
Good. Would you speak up, Guru Ravi?
Yes, I'll try
yes.
to. I'm still in that space, as I'm sure we all are.
Good.
At the very beginning, my mind, when we were asked to choose a situation that he would beam light to, my mind became very fragmented and scattered, and it was like I can't choose just one. I kept jumping all around to different situations, and then I just felt a deep sense of calm and relaxation and went into an expansion in everything. It was very calm and peaceful, but I was moving very, very quickly to a lot of different situations, and everything was being brought together and amalgamated, I guess would be a word, and uplifted at the same time. And it felt very sweet. Everything was moving very quickly, but there was no. It was just very calm and relaxed and sweet. And
it was not rushed. It was not frantic
not
or
rushed,
stressed.
but it was fast. Right. Right. And then I heard to look deeply at this because this is true reality.
Okay, I want you to say that again, please.
Look deeply at this because this is true reality.
Okay, I want everybody, please take note of what you just said. This is the truth. This is the truth of what is real. Okay, go ahead.
And then when we were asked to, I don't remember exactly what it was, that he was beaming us to someone or something, or it was like an arrow. It was almost like I was being shot on an arrow. And I landed at my daughter's feet.
God bless.
And then we were both quickly taken to I don't know what the mountain was.
Which daughter?
My daughter that's in Dallas, my daughter that's still here with us presently. And we were quickly taken to a mountain, and it seemed like it was Tibet. I don't know where it was, but it was in that area somewhere. And then I heard again to know who you are.
I'm sorry, what did you say? You heard again?
Know who you are.
Ah. And what was the result of that? Who are you?
I began to feel this experience in my body, and I could not really explain it. And then at that moment, he began talking about the gravity and the expansion. And I felt like that was who I was. That I was working with. First I heard gravity in the sense of dire situations. And then I heard it in the sense of a science term of gravity, like staying here on the earth and being really grounded, but still like the heaven to earth, earth to heaven, because that's been so many people around me that my students and clients we've been talking about that a lot, kind of guiding that to not go out through the third eye and not to stay so dug into this whatever we believe this reality is here that we can look at with our two physical eyes, but to move into a different place. So I still can't really explain it very well, but when he said gravity and the expansion, I went to gravity in the terms of both of those terms, gravity being grounded and gravity being in dire situations right now. And the expansion was surrounding and sort of wrapped around all of that.
Good, good. And what was it feeling when you had them working together?
Oh, it was just like bliss. It was ecstasy.
And is that how creation works?
Yes.
And you are the consciousness of the creator creation. Is that true?
The one. Yeah, the one.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to tell us?
It just brought up, also Dr. Ludd was very present for me, his teachings, and I saw him in a little bit different light. I mean, I always see him as a very enlightened being, but and it's such a deep state that he teaches his students through any type of panchakarma or marma point therapy or pulse diagnosis to be the one, that you are the one. You're not, it's not the physical you that's doing the healing. You have to become the one. So that was brought in too, and I sent him a blessing for bringing those teachings to so many.
How wonderful. Wonderful.
Beautiful.
And so we'll let everybody know, in case they don't know him, he is in simple terms, he's a teacher of Ayurvedic medicine.
Right.
In simple terms.
Right. And he has a clinic, a Panchakarma clinic in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Good. Okay. Now, is there anything else you wanted to tell us?
I think that's it.
Well, we're all ears here, dear. All ears and all hearts. Okay, thank you so much.
Another thing that did come up was this with the Lighthouse again, that we had our third meeting of the Become the Lighthouse meditation course that I'm leading, and a lot of what was talked about right now was what was talked about last night. And
it's amazing how it all works together, isn't it?
Oh, it's so amazing.
Maybe we are one.
Happy. We are one. And we talked about that too.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. And who else can share?
Satnam.
Satnam, who is this?
Padam Dion.
Hi, dear.
I'll be brief. My mind.
Go ahead.
My mind and my heart have been in survival mode for quite a few months. And the last few weeks have been really hard. Literally chest pains from the feeling. And I have been doing the heart breath, and it does help. But today during the practice, I heard to totally disconnect from thinking or following the visualization, to just breathe. And this calmness and peace just happened. I felt the presence of Baba Siri Chand, and I feel like this fog of peace inside and out me, and I don't want to exaggerate. It hasn't all been horrible. It's just been trial by fire, being here in South America and very dense energy where I'm staying right now, etc. And to be reminded and to reconnect and feel the presence, so that it gives me the strength and the peace to continue. It's very, very important. And I know, like, I could feel Baba Siri Chand even right before the call, the last few minutes before the call. I could just feel him kind of like, come on, connect. So I'm very appreciative. And yes, my mind wants to, okay, I want to listen to the recording later on and do it exactly, etc. And it's like, just relax and breathe. You're being done instead of doing, you're being done. Kind of a
Oh,
sense.
wonderful.
That's more what I needed to do today. It was more appropriate to my energy field. So thank you very much.
Sure. Now I have one question.
Yes.
We have always known that you are very definitely a healer.
Yes.
And so now, Baba Siri Chand, is this who she is as a healer? In other words, it's being done to her, through her, not in any other way. Okay, Padam Dhyan, what do you hear? What does he say to you?
It's that there isn't a single answer. It's that there is times that I allow myself to be the channel of that healing for others, and there's times when there is a profound shift happening within me, from inside out and then from outside in. And so I get that there is okay. I get that there is a deep, profound transformation in me happening, and maybe even concluding this facet over the next few weeks. And that it's only so that I can serve more. I got that very clearly over the last few days, but I really don't hear him clearly in that manner. I just feel the presence. So if you hear anything, I'm very happy to listen. Which, knowing me for a few years, for me to say that I'm happy to listen to somebody else. Mars in Aries has been a Dickens. Mars in Aries in the 5th house, it's like, oh God. Yeah, my South Node is in Aries too, so it's been trial by fire. So I've always, like Reverend Michael always says from Agape, I'm highly suspicious that God is up to something good, and that all of this has been going on for the last 7.5 months, which is basically exile in a desert of sorts. It's only for my highest good, and ergo the highest good of everyone. That's my student, my friend, in my presence. That's the logical part of me, but I don't really have the words.
He says relax and flow. That's it.
Exactly. Relax and flow is like, I've been through so much. It's like I just gave birth to quintuplets,
That's monumental.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm happy to have them. Boy, I need some rest. So I think that that's what Baba wants from me right now, is to rest and to just appreciate it and to be gentle.
Good.
So okay. All good news to me. Thank you so much, by the way, for all of this.
Dear.
Thank you.
Okay, is David Kieran still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, dear. Is there anything that you would like to share?
Yeah, I can share. First of all, when we were being taken to some place special, I felt as if I was taken to a big garden, and there was this big garden, and it was all green grass and flowers, and the grass was wet, and I was dancing there, and I was holding hands with my kids and my beloved, and we were dancing and singing, and the sun was shining, and it was all great. And then all kinds of beings started to come in and join us, and there was all kinds of light beings and surreal beings. And then, everyone just came in, and in the end, it was just a big flow dancing together in the grass, and you couldn't really tell who was who, or it was nothing was separated, so it was all like a giant mass of dancing, and of joy. So that was nice.
Wonderful.
And then we were asked again to follow Baba Siri Chand to another place or something. And he showed me this big diamond, or like a giant prism, that was radiating with all kinds of light and all different colors and everything. So I felt as if all consciousness just went into that diamond, and we were all there. Our little group from the grass, and we just went into that big diamond, and we were just radiating up from the diamond as one. So that's what I'm going to bring with me, and I'm going to keep that in my heart and visualize that my heart center is a part of the big diamond that we're all in.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that you all are seeing, how can I say, at the root, you all are seeing the same thing, but you all have an expression, an understanding, an awareness of it in what appears to be different ways. Do you think? Yeah. It's delightful. Delightful. I would like to be in that garden. I'm going to imagine myself in that garden with the flowers with you.
Yeah, you were there too. Of course you were. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you, dear.
Yeah,
okay, we have time for one more shorty. Who can share?
Steve?
Yes, who is this?
This is Kathy from Alaska.
Hi, Kathy from Alaska.
It's nice being here. Thank you.
Oh, we're glad to have you.
I just feel really confirmed in my spirit about the rightness of softening one's heart and us connecting as one. And I'm from a very traditional Christian background, and at times because of fear we can harden our heart, and I feel real confirmation that to participate is to be in Christ's light. And so when I was going through this process with Baba Siri Chand, I in my personal life, I'm in limbo where I'm hoping to start subbing for this district, and I'm hoping to start being a healer using the emotion code. And just like I used the metaphor last night that I felt like I'm floundering, just flopping on the bank when I really just am aching to be in the flow. And I really liked some of the things I heard shared. I like that instead of doing, you are being done. And I feel like perhaps that's kind of like that's the lesson to be learned, that I get to relax, that I don't have to get so upset when, I'm not getting the response I want from these traditional entities of employment. And when I was pointed to where to be, it came to me to be downtown, to go to the village, go to the women's shelter, go to the nursing home, go to the mental health clinic, go through community schools, go through my church, go through my Saturday group, and that those are all places where I can do God's work, and I can do the work that it needs to be done, not by my doing, but by the higher doing. So I feel really confirmed and just so grateful, so grateful. So,
how wonderful. We'd like to hear more about your experience when you started. Well,
it feels like it's
a moment.
Yeah, I feel like, and that was kind of like yesterday when I was told I had to have yet another meeting with human resources here at the school district, and I was feeling really discouraged. I walked by and there was a man sitting at a doorstep with his buddy talking about getting back politically involved in their tribal council. And that when I did energy work for him recently, that's totally what it led me to. Some incident when he was 19 and his parents wanted him to get involved, but he didn't feel like he wanted to. And I released wishy-washy and all these other kinds. And now he's on fire, and he was kind of get his friend back involved in tribal politics. And he looked at me, because I already kind of knew, like how it all fits together. Like, oh, awesome. This is what God really wanted to work with him, and now he's really going to utilize him. And he looked at me and said, oh, my gosh, this is exactly what you did work for me on last week. And I was like, oh, yeah, I thought that was the premise, but really cool. So, and it showed me that just because I'm getting difficulty in, like I said, the traditional realms of employment and what people see, I'm crossing a man sitting in the doorstep with his buddy, and God's working in his life because of being able to utilize me in the emotion code. So, and that's right. What I really feel confirmation on. So
good. So all we can have is an attitude of gratitude about the whole business.
Yeah, that's right.
It's just fun to be the middleman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fun to be the middleman. Although I certainly know what it is to be bathed in the pressure of knowing. I really understood that statement.
The pressure. Oh, so you're talking about the gravity?
The gravity. I had really related to that, which sounds like a lot of us have. Yeah, and the dual meaning of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, dear. We enjoyed that.
Thanks.
Okay.
Me too.
Good. Okay, so now we are going to do our closing song together. So please sing this song to each other's hearts. And it does sound like a lot of people have been leaving, but I don't know if it's a phone system or what. But Baba Siri Chand always says it is important to stay together because we have an opening of the energy and then we have an encapsulating of the energy. So, unless you have another pressing need, it's very important to stay together. You wouldn't want to leave a yoga class early, for instance. Okay. So please sit straight, palms together, and sing this song, this lovely song, to one another. Inhale, please. May the light shine upon you. All love around you. And the within you, guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on. Inhale. And may you be rooted in your gravity, in your gratitude, in your graciousness. God bless you all, and talk to you next week. Blessings. Satnam. Bye-bye.
Satnam. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.